All right, so let's get to our top 3 fantasy duds.
Duds.
I'll start off with mine, Eric, since you
Yep.
went first with.
Let's hear him. Let's hear him. Who you got?
You really don't want to hear these. I
The whole
got
Dolphins team? No, I'm kidding.
no. I didn't even go there. I got the New York Giants on this list. Very heavy right now.
The
Okay,
whole.
I'm just gonna put Tyrone Tracy Jr. and the rest of whatever running backs they have on that team.
Backfield, huh?
Just the backfield in general. Tyrone Tracy rushed 10 times for 24 yards. Cam, I don't even want to get into Scattaboo. He had 2 carries for -3. And at that point, you just weren't doing
Say in Arizona State.
Yeah, you weren't doing anything on offense. They just looked poorish on offense. It was a very bad showing for the Giants. So we may as well just get straight into it. Russell Wilson was awful.
Yeah,
and that's my number 2. I don't even need to say it, but that's my number 2 guy. Russell Wilson was flat out awful. He was so bad that Brian Daboll said he doesn't know if he's going to start next week. When you have a quarterback that you've said this is going to be your quarterback, you said it all offseason. This is going to be your starting quarterback. That's how bad a showing he had. I don't even need to get into stats. I don't need to get into any of that. But Russell Wilson was flat out awful on Sunday.
17 for 37. I'll get into the stats. Okay. Yuck.
Yeah. It is Jackson Dart time. You best believe it. He had a huge preseason. There ain't no way the Giants fans are going to let Russell Wilson go out there for another week and do this. So if Brian Daboll is smart and Brian Daboll wants to save his job because there's damn sure he's on the hot seat, he better start Jackson Dart in week 2.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, obviously Super Bowl champion. He had a lot of really, really solid years, but the last few have been rough. And it's just, I don't know if it's just out of respect. They obviously signed him, and he probably was told he was going to compete for a starting job. And so sometimes just the vet gets the job. And I think I thought we were even looking at it like, hey, maybe it's going to be by week 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. But yeah, it looks like it might be as quick as week 2. And you're right. If you're on the hot seat, are you going to really waste 6 games going 1-5 and then go into the young guy and just him getting killed out there? So yeah, I would do it ASAP.
Yeah, and you can tell, but that's what he said. I mean, it's at this point he needs to try to save his job, and he's going to go with the guy that he drafted. So it'll be interesting to see what happens the rest of the week, but that was not a good showing. So let's get off the New York kind of whatever showing that they had, and I'll go with my third guy because him and his team had a lot of hype going into the season, and that is Bo Nix. He did disappointed. I mean, it wasn't a good showing. They still got the win, which is the most important thing because they have the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bo, I need you to do better. You obviously had a great rookie year, but 1 TD and 2 interceptions is not going to get it done. But I don't doubt that he'll be able to get it going. This is not a Russell Wilson situation, and I know he'll get it going in the weeks to come because they still have all that offensive talent there. I think that as the weeks keep churning, you'll see a lot of good numbers out of Bo Nix moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a hype train with Denver, and they won at the end of the day, so that's all that matters. But yeah, they're going to really lean on their top-ranked defense. They were number 1 ranked last year and got better this year. And so, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully he'll be able to put some decent numbers to kind of him be a starter for you out there in the fantasy football world. But yeah, I probably would want to see it, before it actually before I put him out there again. They play the Colts next week. Actually, I was just looking at it. So that'll be interesting to see at Colts. We'll see if the Indianapolis can kind of do what they did to Miami, to Denver next week.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Nick, what are your duds?
Yeah, I'm just going to go straight up. I'm kind of looking at players that were, drafted relatively high. Nico Collins, from the Texans. And when I pick guys, I'm picking guys where I understand there's going to be bad weeks. It's going to happen, but the Texans just looked really bad on offense, and that's a concern. So what did he have? He had 3 catches for 25 yards. And so again, those games happen, even to the best of them, but I don't see Houston being as good as they have been as of late the last couple years. They only scored 9 points. So I'd be a little concerned about him because he was drafted pretty high regularly in a lot of drafts. And so he's got talent. But yeah, I would say he was a big dud today. I'm going to go all the way back to Thursday, first game of the season, AJ Brown. We've talked about him. I know it was nasty. He got his first catch basically towards the end of the game. We'll see. He's gonna probably, when it's all said and done, as long as he's healthy, he's gonna have those monster games. You just hope that when he doesn't have a monster game, that he at least has a respectable game. If you're PPR, right, you might want 5-6 grabs, 60-70 yards, but sometimes he just kind of disappears, and he's not happy. Even with them winning, he's still going to be upset. So he's the second one. And then the other one, look, he's not a, first, second round, maybe even third round pick, but I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker the third. Now, in most drafts that I looked at, he was actually the first Seattle running back picked, and he's had a pretty solid career as long as he's been when he's been healthy. He's been getting those goal line carries. He's had some pretty good games. But I was looking at it today, and it makes you think: is Zach Charbonnet, is he the number one back there? He had more carries today. He had more success. When Seattle got down to the 3 or 4 yard line, they gave it to him a couple times. He ended up scoring, cashing in. So that is why I have him as a dud. Not that he just did. He did do pretty awful. 10 carries for 20 yards. That is pretty bad. But not only that, but is he now second in command there at the running back position? So that's something to think about heading into next week.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some definitely good points. I almost put the whole Houston team on notes as well, just because I don't know what happened to Houston's offense the last year and a game, right? They just have gone from this amazing offense to just nothing, and you can see it with today's game as well. So those are some good ones, Eric. Not to say that these players can't really turn it around. They can. It's the NFL. This happens. But this was just week 1 matchup there.
Yep. Right. Bit of cause for concern, but doesn't mean you're going to go and waive him or anything. You're just going to kind of keep an eye out for it.
For sure.